the Prophet Muhammad, a mercy to the world.
His dealings with the people. It is related that Hussein, ibn Imam Ali, peace be upon them both, said, "I asked my father about how the Apostle of God, may Allah's peace be upon him and his family, would spend his time indoors. He said, when he sought refuge inside of his house, he would divide his time into 3 parts, 1 part for God, 1 part for his family, and 1 part for himself. Then the part that was for himself he would divide between himself and the people, both those close to him and the general public, and he would spare all the time that he could for them. It was his policy regarding the time he set aside for the Muslim community to favor the virtuous with his manners, and he divided this time according to their virtue in the religion. Among them were those who had a single need, those who had 2 needs, and those who had a number of needs. He would concern himself with them and occupy them with what would benefit both them and the community by asking about them and getting them to inform him of what was needed. He would say, "Let those present inform those who are absent, and whoever is not able to inform me of his needs, then let someone else do it on his behalf." Imam Hussein relates, "Then I asked my father about how the Apostle of God spent his time outside the house. He said, the Apostle of God, Allah's peace and blessings be upon him and his family, would guard his tongue except in matters which concerned him. He would work to unite the people and not divide them. He would honor the nobles of every people and place them in authority over them. He would warn the people against discord. He would be on his guard with the people at all times, but would never withhold from them his smile or good manners. He would miss those of his companions who were absent and would ask the people about the affairs of the people, and would encourage what was beautiful and good and discourage what was ugly and bad. He was balanced and did not go to extremes and would never become heedless for fear that the people would become heedless and divert from the right path. He was prepared for every situation and would not fall short of the truth nor go beyond it. It was the best of the people who followed him. In his view, the best of them were those who gave the best counsel, and the highest in station were those who gave the best solidarity and support." Imam Husain continues, "Then I asked my father about his gatherings. He said whenever the Apostle of God sat down in a meeting or stood up from one, he would always be in remembrance of God. Whenever he sat with some people, he would always stay until the end of the gathering and would order others to do the same. He would give each of those present his due, so that everyone would think that they were the most honored person present. Whenever he sat with somebody or stood with him regarding a matter, he would wait patiently until the other person was satisfied and left. If anyone asked him for anything, he would either give him what he had been asked for, or speak to this person some kind words. His openness and good manners enveloped the people, and he was to them as a father, and to him they all had equal rights. His gatherings were gatherings of kindness and modesty, patience and trust, where voices were not raised and sanctity was not trampled upon. There the people vied with each other to be the most just, the most virtuous and God-conscious. They would respect the elders and treat the young with mercy, and give preference to those in need and protect the stranger." Imam Hussein also relates that his father said, "The Apostle of God was constantly smiling and very easy to get along with. He was not uncouth or hard-hearted, loud-voiced or immodest. He would not seek to find faults with people, nor to flatter them. He would ignore and avoid that which he did not like, but no one would lose hope from him, nor would he disappoint anyone. He forbade himself 3 things: showing off, excess in anything, and interfering in those things which did not concern him. He held back 3 things from the people. He would not condemn or rebuke anyone, nor would he seek out another's secrets, and would only speak in matters in which he sought a divine reward. When he spoke, his companions lowered their heads as though birds had landed upon them. And when he fell silent, they spoke. They would not vie with each other to speak, and when he spoke, they would pay attention until he had finished. They spoke with him as though they spoke normally. He would laugh with them, and when they laughed, he would be amazed when they were amazed. He would bear the uncouth language and questions of a stranger with patience. He would say, "If you see someone in need, then aid them." He would not accept praise except from his equals. He would never interrupt another person when he was speaking until he asked permission, or until the speech had ended, or the other person stood up to leave. It is related that Zayd ibn Thabit said, "When we sat with the Prophet and we began to talk about the afterlife, he would join in with us. If we began to talk about worldly affairs, he would also join in with us. If we began to speak about food and drink, he would also join in with us." It is narrated from Imam Ali, peace be upon him, that the Apostle of God, God's peace and blessings be upon him and his family, whenever he saw that one of his companions was dejected, he would joke with him to cheer him up. Anas said, whenever the Apostle of God passed by some children, he would always greet them. Asma, daughter of Zayd, relates, the Prophet passed by some women and greeted them. Whenever any of his companions or anyone else called him, he always said, "I am at your service." He would always call his companions by their nicknames or titles to honor them and win their hearts over, and would always give a good title to those who did not have one, after which that person would always be known by this title. He would also give titles to the ladies who had children and those who did not. He would also give them to youngsters to soften their hearts. The Apostle of God was among the most courteous of people. He would not hold back on cold mornings from going to a male or female servant or a child and washing their face and hands for them. Whenever someone asked him something, he always paid attention and would always wait until the other person left so that he himself would not be the first to leave. Whenever someone offered him his hand, he would accept it.